Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
I feel like we should have the bump music heard it on the Grapevine, because Grapevine, Texas is back in studio, one of our favorite segments. Leigh Lyons, she's the Director of Communications, and Robbie Hoy, Communications Coordinator with the Grapevine Convention and Visitors Bureau. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show again.
Well, thanks so much. It's great to be here.
I said the last time I had you guys on is that I think it's the most idyllic, is that the right word, city in Texas. I mean, just if you were to take a Norman Rockwell picture and superimpose it over downtown Grapevine, they would match perfectly. I mean, it's just, you guys have done it right.
Well, and it's everything that you think of when you think of a thriving and historic and beautiful traditional Texas downtown is Grapevine's historic Main Street.
So you've got a big festival coming up. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, on May 20th, 21st, and 22nd, it will be the 32nd Annual Main Street Fest, which is presented by Bank of the West, and it's all about craft brews and family-friendly entertainment. It's going to be a weekend of family-friendly festival fun, so folks should come on out and enjoy the weekend with us. Okay, so Robbie, you just joined. I know you have a long history in radio, and you just joined the Convention and Visitors Bureau. What attracted you to Grapevine and this position?
I spent 10 years in broadcasting, and while I love that world, I love the business, I wanted to do something that was fun, because we have to do the stories, the crime, and the pain in people's lives. But very rarely did I get to do the fun stories. Right. Only if there was no breaking news could I do something fun. And I've always loved Grapevine's message. I've always loved their message of, come here and let's have some family-friendly fun. And I saw the job online, and I thought, why not? Why not try this out? And so it was a leap of faith for me to try and do this, because all I've known is broadcasting. Right. And so now I'm doing this, and I love it. It's fun, and I love putting out the message of, let's just have some fun. Right. And what a great city and event to promote. So for those people who haven't made their weekend plans, tell us some of the things that they're going to experience when they get to Main Street. Well, one of the coolest things that we're going to have this year that is new, we've never done this before, we are celebrating with Ingolstadt, Germany, which is a little town north of Munich, about an hour north. This is the 500th anniversary of the Bavarian Beer Purity Act, which was enacted by Duke Wilhelm. So straight from Ingolstadt, Germany, Duke Wilhelm will be at Main Street Fest for folks to get to meet him, have photos with him, and he'll be doing some special cask tappings. It's really going to be a great opportunity for folks to get to do that. Plus, there's all different kinds of activities throughout the entire weekend. So music, obviously, food, stuff for the kids to do? Absolutely. Well, first, I want to talk about the music. We'll have 3 stages of live entertainment all weekend long. We'll have acts like the Romantics, if anybody remembers the Romantics, a great band, Rodney Crowell. And then this is the return of the DFW Icon Competition. This is a singing competition open to ages 7 to 24, and it is so much fun to get to see it. The finals are on Sunday afternoon. It's a great way to spend your Sunday. It's a wonderful competition. So if you're interested in that, visit our website for information on how to register for that experience. Do you, and now typically with Main Street, do you have out-of-town visitors coming in, or is this designed to attract the locals, or? Well, last year we had more than 154,000 people that attended the festival, and they come from all over, the DFW Metroplex, from Texas, from really across the country, and we do have international guests as well that come and attend the festival. So it's a great way to spend part of your weekend. One of the
best insider tips that I can give you is if you come Friday before 5 o'clock, whether you bring 2 people or 20 or 200, admission is free. So get inside the gates before 5 on Friday. To save a little money, you can spend some more money, for example, in the craft brew experience during the festival.
That's awesome. My guests again, Leigh Lyons and Robbie Hoy with the Grapevine Convention and Visitors Bureau. So, Robbie, what are your duties related to Main Street and the festival?
Whatever Leigh tells me to do.
Good answer.
That is a great answer.
Get me some coffee.
No, none of that yet.
I help write press releases. I help pitch to local media. I help just try to get the message out about what is happening for whether it's Main Street Fest or Grape Fest or whatever we've got going on, and just looking for new and creative ways to get the message out. And it's a learning experience for me, and so I'm just hanging on by my hair and try and just along for the ride just to see what's next. No 2 days have been the same.
Well, I would be interested because this is a new pair of eyes looking at Grapevine, and you live it and breathe it every day. Robbie, anything that surprised you about Grapevine, stuff that you didn't know because you weren't eating, sleeping, and breathing it.
I knew about historic downtown. I knew about Main Street. What I did not know was that there are no chain stores or restaurants in historic downtown Grapevine.
I didn't know that either.
And so when you walk down the street, it's all locally owned stores and businesses and restaurants. And I love that because there is so many good products in these stores and restaurants that I haven't been to the same restaurant twice since I started working there.
Well, let's talk about that, Leigh. That's interesting. So
yes.
Somebody wants to open a McDonald's and they want to do it architecturally in keeping with Main Street. They're still told no.
Well, and those are decisions that would go through the city as to who, where we would have space for different businesses. But really, we've been very fortunate in Grapevine with a very forward-thinking mayor, city council, elected leadership in what types of businesses we're attracting to Grapevine. And it really is a wonderful thing to support your local businesses. Tourism is a huge economic driver for Grapevine, for the DFW Metroplex, and for the state of Texas in general. This is actually National Travel and Tourism Week where we celebrate that industry. And there are more than 15,000 folks who work in the tourism industry just in Grapevine. And if you think about the tourism industry, traditionally you would think about hotels and attractions and that sort of thing. But local companies such as pool services, gas stations, pharmacies, when you travel and all of a sudden one of the children gets sick and you need some medicine for them. So these types of businesses really do benefit from travel and from tourism and from folks who come into town, and particularly our local businesses benefit as well. So that's a wonderful thing and a wonderful experience. When you travel, you want to do what the locals do and you want to eat local. And there is a wonderful place for chain restaurants and traditional big box stores in travel and in life as well. But we also want to support those local businesses as well.
And I've been told that in terms of bringing revenue into a city, there is no better dollar than tourism dollars. You're not providing year-round police protection or firefighting or education. They come in, they spend money, and then they leave. That's nirvana, isn't it?
That is, but in order to attract those guests, you have to have wonderful attractions and hotels, and we are so fortunate in Grapevine to have some of the best hotels in the state of Texas, such as Gaylord Texan Resort, such as Great Wolf Lodge. And really, one of the benefits too for Grapevine is we have hotel properties that will service every price point, every style of what somebody likes in an accommodation, and really what they want to do on their vacation. And another huge driver for the state economically is meetings and conventions. And with Grapevine's ideal location, really 10 minutes just outside of Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport and the central location in the United States, meetings and conventions are a huge economic driver for us as well.
Robbie, what kind of boss is Leigh?
No pressure on that.
No, there's a loaded question if I ever heard one. She is she is so understanding about the challenges that I face coming from a job where I didn't do public relations. And so we will talk constantly about, okay, here's what we need to do. Here's the best way to do this. If you can come up with another idea of a way to do this, we can talk about it. But she listens, and that's what I think any good boss should do, is she listens more than she talks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Your check's in the mail for that too, so thanks for that endorsement. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. And I would agree with you too. Leigh and I go back a long time, and she's just this, not only just a cool person, but so knowledgeable about the city and so accommodating to the media. I totally agree with you.
I could not ask for a better person to learn from. So.
Wow.
Thanks. Wow.
This is like a love fest
great.
here.
Wow. I have to. Wow.
Okay. Well, let's talk about. I know we can't love on every single merchant downtown, but
Sure.
But why don't you point out some of the cool shops and restaurants that are down there that people might not know about?
Sure. Well, a couple of things. If you are looking for something really special for your mother for Mother's Day,
Perfect.
moms love chocolate. We have a wonderful chocolatier, Dr. Sue's Chocolates. She is a practicing physician, and her chocolates are a healthier way to indulge. Fabulous opportunities, great idea for a Mother's Day gift. Local restaurants, we have everything from Tolbert's, which is famous for the bowl of red chili, to Farina's, which my very favorite thing to eat there is the basil pesto pasta with the meatballs. That's usually served in the evenings. We have the Main Street Bistro and Bakery, which is owned by Fabian and Yasmin. And Fabian told me once that he goes through 400 pounds of butter in a week, and the croissants are life-changing. If you've never had an almond croissant from the Main Street Bakery, you're definitely missing out. So make plans to take Mom there tomorrow for breakfast.
Wow.
It's a great opportunity as well. And really, all the shops, everything from Bermuda Gold and Silver to Ooh La La to Chic Boutique to just wonderful opportunities for you to enjoy the experience of being in downtown Grapevine. And one place that you're definitely going to want to check out is the Grapevine Farmers Market. They have a storefront location, and then Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, they are located by the town square gazebo, so there's some outdoor shopping there as well.
Wow. For those people who are planning ahead, what are some other festivals and attractions that they need to put on their calendar?
Well, one of the great things as folks are looking to the summer and looking for activities for their children will be the Dinosaur exhibit that we'll have at our Grapevine galleries and museums. It is a wonderfully interactive experience where you can actually be the dinosaur. There's video, there's recreations of live dinosaurs. It's $4 for guests ages 24 months and up, and it is the perfect learning and fun activity for kids, and we are really excited about that. That opens June the 3rd and will run through September the 18th. So you can get tickets now for that experience. And then, of course, as we get into the fall, it will be the 30th annual Grape Fest, which celebrates all things fruit of the vine. Texas is the 5th largest producer of wine in the United States, and Grapevine is the headquarters of the Texas wine industry. And if you're looking really far out, join us beginning in the middle of November for the Christmas capital of Texas, where we have 1,400 Christmas events in 40-plus days.
So my daughter, Sarah, who often substitutes for me, wants to jump on the mic.
Well, and I don't know if you guys know, you probably do and maybe mentioned it, is that at the Grapevine Convention Center today is the You Build It Home Expo, and that's actually where I'm headed right after the Jeff Crilley Show to go check that out.
Awesome.
They're going to have a fabulous panel of speakers, and anyone that's driving right now listening to the Jeff Crilley Show, head on over to the Grapevine Convention Center for the You Build It Home Expo.
Absolutely. And then you can do some shopping or have a bite of lunch on Main Street. So.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so Robbie, since you've been down there, any favorite shops or restaurants that you've experienced for the first time?
Main Street Cafe was amazing. I had their beef tenderloin sandwich, and I'm definitely going back. I'm getting hungry right now, actually, thinking about it. I have not tried their tomato basil soup, which I've heard is awesome, so I really want to try that. I went to Wilhoit's this last week and had their barbecue beef sandwich, and that's just amazing. But I've only been able to see about 0.1% of what Main Street has to offer. So I want to spend some time just wandering up and down just to see what else there is.
There's some rich history too. Now, Leigh, I don't know how up to speed you are on the history. I mean, wasn't like Bonnie and Clyde? Wasn't there some Grapevine bank robberies and?
Yes, Bermuda Gold and Silver. That store is actually located in what was a bank that was held up by members of Bonnie and Clyde's gang, and there's a famous photo that they have hanging in Bermuda Gold and Silver. So you've got to see that photo when you go in. That's another great spot for Mother's Day if you're looking for a last-minute Mother's Day gift. If you go in and look at the photo, it's really interesting. And I can't remember the year, but I believe that photo is actually taken on New Year's Eve, right about the time that happened. So yes, there's definitely some Bonnie and Clyde history in Grapevine. And, we were, the first settlement actually in Tarrant County was Grapevine. So we've definitely got a long history, and it's a wonderful thing for folks to get to explore when they come out.
And the origin of the name Grapevine, did it really come from a vineyard or?
It was actually named for the Mustang grapes, and originally it was Grapevine, 2 words. And Mustang grapes, interestingly enough, are not really great for making wine. So kind of a little bit funny that now we're the headquarters of the Texas wine industry. But so Grapevine was named for the Mustang grapes that grew on the Grapevine Prairie.
When did the tourism really take off? I mean, are we talking like 70s and 80s that it really turned into a destination?
Yes, and I really do think that, with the planning and the great forward thinking of the mayor and the city council and the elected leadership that really the long-term plan for Grapevine to become a tourism destination really started about that time. I mean, when you had wonderful properties such as Gaylord Texan Resort, Grapevine Mills, which is a huge economic driver. I mean, it's 1.6 million square feet of shopping, fun, and euphoria for folks every day of the year. You have these wonderful things that have come in and really helped us. The Grapevine Vintage Railroad is one of the key aspects to folks when they come out and experience, a ride on the 1920s era coaches and travel as it was really when folks were going across the country and moving across the country along the Cotton Belt route.
Wow. Well, this has been such an action-packed segment.
It's always fun to talk to you,
some
Jeff.
love in for Leigh and brownie points for Robbie.
That was great.
Yeah, right. Got to keep the job.
Exactly. You can definitely
awesome.
come back Monday, Robbie.
Well, we absolutely have to have you guys back again soon. Thank you so much for being on the
Thanks
Jeff
so
Crilley
much.
Show.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, when we come back, selling in a skirt. What is that all about? It's a best-selling book, and the author is here, and she's going to give us some do's and don'ts for Mother's Day gifts.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.